What are you most excited about for 2024 with what God's doing in your ministry?
Wow. So the year 2024 is a game-changing year. I believe prophetically with all my heart, man, that it is. God, there's been 3 different years that God put on my radar from the time I first got saved back in 86. And it was the year 2016, 2020, and 2024. And 2016 was a tremendous game changer. And certainly everything changed for me that year. And then 2020, we know what happened in 2020.
Yes, sir.
We rented the Tarrant County Convention Center that year on January the 20th and got up and did a big prophetic summit with a whole bunch of people in downtown Fort Worth. And it was on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And I was like, let's talk about I have a dream and I want to do this. Because when he stood on the Lincoln Memorial steps and when he said, I have a dream, that was a prophetic voice for that generation and for all of us as Americans. And so I was preaching all that at the time that we preached that, saying everything's going to change this year. Everything's going to change. And I was like, woo, everything's going to change. I had no idea Corona was coming. I didn't have a clue, but I knew everything was going to change. And the word that God gave me for 2020 is when they say no, 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 God says go, go, go. Okay. And then, of course, we find out later on that at the time I was preaching that, January the 20th, the very first person in America was found with COVID in King County, Seattle, right? In King County, Washington, on Martin Luther King Day, and it's called the Corona or the King virus.
Sheesh.
Yeah, that was a door from hell was opened up. So, yeah, I think that this year is a big game-changing year. I think everything changes once again in 2024.
I agree. And
I think that we have to know how to be stable in the midst of instability. I think that we have to know how to be full of hope. I ask you this, hey, man, from 2020 on, even though that was terrible and it was hell, did you prosper?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, right on. I mean, did you see God's promises fulfilled within your life?
Yes.
Did you go from here to there?
Yes.
Yeah, you did. It shouldn't have happened like that.
Right.
And it did.
It did, 100%.
And that's the way that things are going now. So do not be afraid.
Okay.
Do not be afraid. The number 24 is a number that's associated with the throne of Jesus, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like anytime that you see the number 24 in the Bible, it means it's encircled, okay? So 24 hours in a day, right? 24 elders around the throne, 24,000 miles around the earth, 24 time zones around the world, right? It's a number that represents encircled, and it has to do with the throne of Jesus. So I think that this year is a huge throne year. It's a huge throne year for us, meaning, hey, man, Jesus is not just going to be a buddy. He's not going to be pal. He's not going to be your homeboy. He's not going to be your dude. He's all those things, and that's cool. But, dude, he's your king this year. And so his kingdom is coming this year.
Let's go.
And I want a front row seat, buddy.
Hey, come on. That's beautiful. I'm glad I asked that last question.
That's a good question.
That's a great question. You were able to tie in your numerology study right there.